How you doing, Sandesh here? I'm going to be reading from Tech for Gamers, and it's about the fiasco of fiasco bullshit of which Nintendo is putting on everyone. That Switch 2 games are going to be $80, well, $90, I suppose you could say, but basically, it says here the title Nintendo defends $80 pricing, believes Switch 2 games will justify new price tag. They're obviously going to say that bullshit. Obviously, they will. They're obviously not going to say, "Oh well, we do. Oh, we do agree with everyone, and we should lower the price." And they're never going to say that. Especially with how shady Nintendo are. Anyway, I'm going to get into the article now. Opinions regarding the recently revealed Nintendo Switch 2 have been mostly positive. However, gamers were left shocked when it was confirmed that Mario Kart World would cost as much as $90. Even PS5 gamers who recently accepted the $70 standard were against this new trend. In response, Nintendo claims that games like Mario Kart World will justify the new pricing standard. The jump from 60 to 70 dollars for AAA titles has been a hard pill to swallow for many, especially considering the prevalence of microtransactions in modern titles. Speaking to IGN, America's Bill Trinan discussed the company's new pricing strategy. He pointed to a focus on value with the amount of content being the major determining factor. Pointed to Mario Kart World, Bill Trinan stated that the game is vast and offers a lot for players to do and discover. From his perspective, the content clearly justifies Nintendo's asking price, and the same strategy will be applied to future games. Well, obviously, from his perspective, he's obviously going to say that he's representing Nintendo. He's obviously representing Nintendo of America and Nintendo Japan, Nintendo in general. He's going to have to say that shit. But it's obviously bullshit what he's saying. Bill Trinan offered a similar response to the actual hardware's pricing. He also quickly acknowledged that the rising cost of gaming over time, stating that value remains the primary determining factor. Although this statement does not directly point to the future of Nintendo's AAA releases, it essentially confirms that high-profile titles like Mario Kart World will sport the same $80 price. Whenever this will be a successful strategy for Nintendo, however, remains to be seen. Just to let you know, if you think Nintendo is gonna, after a while, let's say this does not work, and then not enough people end up buying their games for the Switch 2 games. Does anyone seriously believe to Nintendo to and to listen to their fans or to listen to gamers in general and start dropping the prices on games? Of course, they're not going to do that. Ask yourself this: with how not successful the Wii U was, why didn't the Wii U never had a price drop? Ask yourself that. Even through all that generation, for all that time, the Wii U never had a price cut. It never did, because Nintendo are not going to, even how badly the Wii U did, they still didn't do it, and they're not going to do it with the Switch 2 either. The Switch 2 either. And I just want to say this: there's going to be people screaming about this on videos, saying, "Yeah, how Nintendo are fucking assholes. How could they do this?" But this is the same people that are going to complain about the price of the games. And guess what they're going to do? They're still going to buy they're still going to swallow the prices. They're still going to swallow it, and they're still going to pay the prices for the Switch 2 games. They're still going to. So really, all their complaining, all their complaining, it doesn't mean anything. It's just stupid. It's just bullshit. The only way Nintendo will get the message is if you don't buy the Switch 2, as if you don't buy the hardware and you don't buy the software. That is the only way they will ever get the message. If you just keep it, if you because Nintendo don't care if you complain about it. They don't care about backlash when it comes to videos or social media. They don't give a shit about any other companies. Usually don't. because as long as you're buying their stuff, they don't give a shit. As far as they're concerned, I mean, Nintendo can be like, hey, and these stupid gamers can complain all they want, but if they're gonna buy our shit, so why should we even change strategy for? There's absolutely no reason for them to change strategy if people are that stupid to swat and people are that stupid and still want to pay $80. And I tell you who started this off, Sony, because when the announcement came out, when the PS5 came out, and they said that 70 PS5 games are going to be $70, people complained, and what happened? They're still stuck with that has not changed, has it? That price has only changed at certain retailers. It'll be up to the retailers if they're gonna want to if they're gonna want to sell Switch 2 games at the $80, $90 mark. If they don't want to, and then that'll be up to them. But I would say those retailers will end up having will end up having their Switch 2 games getting sold out because people are going to want to go to those sort of retailers because since I won't be charging as much for Switch 2 games. But yeah, that's the reason why I'm not complaining about it because the thing is, I'm gonna get a I'm gonna get a Switch too. But the thing is, no amount of complaining is not gonna change Nintendo's strategy, and you gotta understand something as well. Nintendo's CEO, their Japanese CEO, is a and well, used to be an accountant, so he's basically looking over of how much can we squeeze out of gamers. He's not going to give a shit about the tariffs, and he's not going to give a shit about inflation. He's not going to give a shit about any of that. I mean, Sony certainly didn't when they said that. Oh, guess what? Games are going to be $70. That's where I said Sony was the one that started it off first. And I guarantee you, Nintendo paid attention and saw all that and saw that the backlash died down pretty quickly because it did die down pretty quickly. And they thought, well, you know what, we could go even further with it. And the fact that Nintendo is going to defend their $80 and $90 pricing, I'm going to make a prediction with as far as the PS6. If games are going to be $80, I reckon games when it comes to the PS6 are going to end up being $100. I actually think that's going to end up happening, and I bet you, and I actually think that they're going to complain about it, but guess what? They're still going to want to pay $100 a game. That's going to end up happening. So all this complaining ain't gonna amount to all this complaining ain't gonna amount to bullshit. Nintendo are very stubborn. They're not gonna change. Just like I said with the Wii U never had a price cut. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.